What's up, guys? How we doing today? Welcome back to another rendition of GM's Day Off, a wonderful little series here where a bunch of us kind of forever GMs and other content creators and tabletop enthusiasts get together and take turns GMing for each other's game. So we have a chance to play in our own worlds. Tonight, I take the helm. My name is Cross, and I am your benevolent GM. You could typically find me over at Vaults of Villains right here on YouTube, but tonight I helm a game of Rogue Octopus Escapes, created by our very own Nick. Nick, why don't I pass it off to you? Give us a little explanation as to what this awesome game is.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, I'm so excited. To share this and to get a chance actually playing instead of running it. Yeah, so my name's Nick, and I am the creator of Rogue Octopus Escapes. So Rogue Octopus Escapes is basically a very fun, silly, improvisation-heavy game where, as the name suggests, you play a bunch of octopuses that are trying to escape from captivity. Everything's kind of rule of eight tentacles. We're going to be using D8s and 8 skills, etc., etc.
Brilliant. All right. Before we dive in, let's go ahead and meet the rest of our wonderful cast here. We'll start off with Blaze. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Blaze Reason, creator of Ishanekon World Shapers, and founder, one of the three founders of this neat little YouTube channel we are on. And I'm excited. I've already playtested this game 3 times. It is hilarious. It's going to be fun, guys. And let's go.
All right. Brilliant. And Spencer, you're up. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, I'm Spencer, and this is my first time joining the GM's Corner, but I have a feeling I'll be joining again because I am a forever GM. But I hail from Monkey's Lunch, currently working on a game called Bug and Claw.
Brilliant. All right. And before we jump into the game, Nick, will you please tell us what character you're playing today?
Yeah, sure. So today I am going to be playing Elmsworth. So Elmsworth is a kind of trying to imagine a kind of octopus butler. So very kind of neatly dressed, very kind of tidy, very fastidious. Kind of wants to keep the tank, the place where they live, in the best, tidiest, neatest place possible. And you can see him sort of adorned with a kind of piece of kelp that he's could have fashioned into a necktie, because presentation is everything.
Brilliant. All right, Blaze, you're up.
I'm Bobby the Builder. That's how he likes to call himself, but nobody calls him like that in real life. He's fascinated with human technology, and his dream is to tinker around with it, try to make it its own, and just go all in, becoming an engineer of sorts. He is a medium size, roughly 40 centimeters, and has slightly yellowish, brownish skin.
Brilliant. All right, and Spencer.
I'm Fancy Jim, and I'm a coconut octopus, which you might have heard of before, where they take the coconuts that fall into the ocean and they hide inside them, but instead I use them as fashion, and I am fabulous and awesome.
Brilliant. All right.
Overly friendly, bright pink, purple spotted octopus.
Wonderful. All right. Well, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the action. Miami, Florida, in the late 1980s. On the surface, it's all fine dining, sunny beaches, but just beneath lies the controlling criminal element, where brutal wars are fought by the dominant crime families vying for total control over the city. And as we pan over miles of ocean toward the shoreline, here we find the palatial estate of one such crime family, run by a ruthless man. Respected by his foot soldiers, feared by other criminal organizations, and on top of all the most wanted lists. And as we zoom in and pan through a second-story window into a lavish office, the decor shows the finest carpets and draperies, elaborate busts and beautiful one-of-a-kind paintings adorn the walls, except for one, which is dominated by a massive floor-to-ceiling tank. An aquarium, grand and splendorous in its design. And on a ladder, reaching over to the top of the aquarium, holding a bucket, is this terrible specimen of a man. As he leans over your tank, he goes, "There you go, my lovelies. Oh, grow up big and strong for me." And he blah 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 dumps a bucket of water that begins to rain down like live crabs as they like begin to descend. A delicacy, even to the most discerning of octopi. As these little crustaceans gently float down to the surface, we start to see tentacles drift out of various spots within the tank. And at this point, Nick, I will throw to you. What does your octopus look like, and what do they do as they emerge from their place in the tank to find a dinner?
All right, so Elmsworth kind of has a sort of quite plainish look, sort of a light blue. So apart from his sort of kelp adornment, yeah, he is quite plain to look at. He is going to kind of bow courteously towards his feeder, and is going to head up and start trying to wrangle some crabs and go, "Okay, remember everyone, nice and tidy. Don't want to create a mess like last time, do we?"
Brilliant. All right, we'll toss it over to Spencer.
Fancy Jim comes out and tips his little coconut hat and dances over and tries to catch a crab in the coconut and gives a little bow.
All right, Blaze.
Bobby comes out with some sort of he puts up a piece of wood that he found in an aquarium decoration together to make some sort of weird bowl. He's trying to catch the food with it. So yeah, keep everything tidy, no worries. As he tries to catch his portion of the meal for himself.
Brilliant. And last but not least, an old octopus kind of creeps out from around like the synthetic kelp right as a crustacean manages to drift down in front of her. She reaches up and bats it, and it flies back up, drifting slowly back down into the air. And she continues to do that for like a good 30 seconds as the rest of you have now begun to gather your dinner and have begun to crack open the shells and enjoy your meal. It's Auntie, as we have come to know her. She just just keeps on knocking this thing back and forth and around. The man descends down his ladder, being like, "Yes, go now, eat up. Make sure that you are well fed and grow to be big and strong, my lovelies. Oh, I love you so much." And he runs a finger down the tank, not tapping it because he doesn't want to agitate you, but and he moves back to a rather stern gentleman that's standing in the middle of his lavish office. And through the water and the muffler, you can hear a little bit of what's going on. Where he's like, "Listen, we need to talk about the meeting that's going to be taking place today." And the man perhaps goes, "Oh, it's just another family come to pay respects. Don't worry about it." I realize his accent's wildly all over the place, but I'm gonna keep rolling with it.
It's all part of his plan to hide his identity.
Exactly. But brilliant. It is, for all intents and purposes, an average day within the tank. And as the day progresses, you guys have a chance to kind of go about your regular activities. You're kind of day to day. For Elmsworth, you're kind of house cleaning. Bobby, you're trying to perhaps sneak some peek at some of the tech that goes around. This is a rather lavish mansion, even for the 80s. It's up to date, to the best ability that the technology that existed that day. And in Fancy Jim, you kind of take your time strutting around with your fancy coconut, kind of just making a daily show of yourself. Yeah. It's a typical average day. While your boss kind of goes around, the man kind of making his daily plans. You always see he always happens to be sitting at his desk. There's always some kind of weird white substances kind of kicking around here and there, periodically. And there is a noise that happens. People arriving. You can hear it's doors opening, cars pulling up. It's these strange, you're not unfamiliar to people coming and going within this large place. But it seems like today there is a particular to-do, as like the man is getting ready to entertain people, as it were. It's the man and his underboss, this rather stern gentleman you were talking to. And they seem to be at like a little bit of a fever pitch at this point. They're arguing a lot. When there is suddenly a cacophonous noise come from downstairs, a clatter, a bang. The first man, the man, this underboss, kind of looks to see what's going on. He's like, I'll check it out. He makes his way from the door, quickly disappearing as he shuts it behind him. And then there's more large bangs, like this metallic ringing, like you've never heard noises like this within the mansion. Finally, the boss is like, all right, what's going on here? And he moves towards the door. Right as he opens the door, that bang again, this time closer, louder, piercing. And the man looks down, and you can see on his white suit there's a stain of red as he takes 2 steps back into the room. And through the threshold steps a stranger, a man you've never seen before, a red-headed gentleman, big ginger beard, dressed in a super expensive 3-piece suit as he steps in, holding some strange, for what you can understand, weapon, as we humans above the game know this to be a handgun. Still smoking in his breath. He goes, listen, Jesse, I told you at the beginning of this that you don't screw me over. And the man takes a step in, holding his gut as he like collapses down onto his backside on the floor. This man, the stranger, takes a step in closer, pointing the gun. He goes, I told you, you do not screw me. And now I have come to take over everything that you hold precious to you. And he even looks over at the tank and he goes, I don't think I've forgotten about your prized pets here. I already have buyers lined up, but I think I'm gonna have first dibs on which one I eat. And he comes over and he slams the tank with the butt of his gun, and there's a crack in the glass. You guys stare at this crack as the pressure of the water begins to spider out this veins. You have moments here. What do you guys do in reaction to this? There's been a cacophonous noise. You see your master, a man that has treated you so very well, fed you very well and very often, and always seemed to have doted on you. He's in pain. He's on the ground. There's red leaking out of him. The glass spiders more.
I yell, Papa, no! And throw my coconut at the crack and the guy that's standing there.
Oh, brilliant. Yes. Fantastic. Let's see.
While
let's
he's
go
doing
ahead
that,
and,
I'm using my ball and just like going into cover,
rolling
kind of using
something.
it
I
as a shield.
suppose that would be manipulation?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Give me that manipulation. You'll have the honor of being the first roll of the night.
5.
5, brilliant. As you were just whipping this through the water, I did set it at 4, so that is a success. Excuse me. The coconut flies through the water, bubbles wafting off it, and it impacts right where the central point of all these spider cracks go. And as soon as it impacts, water. You know, this, I can't even, this is probably easily like, 100 gallons of water, if not more. This tank is massive, and water spills out, and within seconds, you guys are on a soaking carpet, spilling out mere feet away from your master, the man, and this stranger, who suddenly, leaps back, thrusting this strange weapon at the ground at each of you, and you hear that cacophonous sound again, bang, as a bullet just nails the ground, not impacting any of you, but this man clearly freaks out. I'm gonna have as this game we're not going to roll initiative, but I'm gonna have each one of you take a turn. Spencer, you just did something, so we'll circle back around to you. We'll go Nick and Blaze. Which one of you wants to try to move first in this instant as you hit the ground?
Okay, I think Elmsworth's first instinct is to see if Auntie's okay. Like, we're all reasonably young and fit, but Auntie might not be so lucky in this. So I'm gonna try and find out where she is. If possible, I'd like to try. Elmsworth isn't a hugger, but he's gonna try and sort of grab her and sort of cradle her if he can.
All right, brilliant. First, give me a sense roll, as a lot has
Okay.
happened in the last few seconds, and we're not quite sure where Auntie is yet. We're looking. You
Okay.
want to try to not super hard. I'm gonna set it once again at a 4.
Okay, great. Got +2 in that, so here's hoping. That was a 2, so just meet it.
Boom. You quickly snap your head around and you see, for however reason, Auntie has managed to make it up to his light ceiling fixture, a little dangling lamp.
Oh.
Somehow she's all there and she's hanging down, just like swinging around, just like, ah! Just kind of going like this lady has lost her mind. But she looks down. She looks down at you, and you're looking to try to like whisk her away, or if you want to give her some signal for her to drop down.
Yeah, she's gonna go. Auntie, I've got you.
All right, she lets go and falls boom, into your waiting tentacles here. Just go ahead and give me a quick hug check to make sure that you catch her properly as she falls to the ground.
Okay, come on. Okay, so that's just a 2.
A 2? Oh, so she like lands on you, but unfortunately she has splayed out her tentacles and she like lands like encompasses all that is you as you like push up from the ground, and now you're wearing Auntie almost like a hat as she's just kind of like flailing around with her tentacles.
Okay.
But
At least she's
brilliant.
alright.
Yeah, you have Auntie and she is safe. Blaze, what do you want to do in this instance?
Bobby wants to get closer to his dying master, using his weird apparatus as a shield, and just trying to shield the master while looking around to any sort of device or weapon that could help him in the situation.
Brilliant. Go ahead and give me a sense check as well, as you look for something that will help you defend this. We'll call it right now. We'll keep it at a nice even. We'll go 4 again.
8.
Oh, boom! That's a success. Looking around, you see any number of things that might be able to assist you in this. You could try to grab like something long and steady, like a metal tray that you see sitting on the desk. There's like some weird, strange white substance on it, but you could obviously just kind of toss that off and use it to shield. You could also there's a vase that you think is strong enough that you could use, and you could throw it at this man. There's books, there's stands, there's like light fixtures. You have your pick, that all within a short reach that you can try to grab to either attack this man or try to defend your master.
I think he will try. Bobby will try to use his mechanical knowledge, use that metal plate, use it as a lever to maybe put some glass on it and catapult it towards the attacker.
Oh, brilliant! I love that. That is so cool. Let's see. I guess we'll go with manipulating objects for that.
That's my main strength. I'm an engineer.
All right, this is a little more complicated. We're gonna shoot for a 6 on this one.
9.
Oh, critical success. All right. So you easily managed to slide this under, like, there's like large, pieces of glass that have broke out from this tank, especially like towards the end, bigger pieces. You managed to like slide it under. Go ahead, since you had a critical success, why don't you tell me what happens?
He catapults the glass towards the attacker, heavily injuring him. He drops the pistol because of that. His arms are so injured that he cannot really control his fingers anymore, and therefore not wield a gun.
Brilliant. Yeah, like glass sticks into him. He drops his gun onto the ground, like landing like just feet away from the man, and actually like right around you guys as well, as he like lets out a string of obscenities. He backs up, like kind of clutching himself. He goes, what is happening? What is with these creatures? Like, what are he's like losing his mind. Like, you're supposed to just be dumb animals, but all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you attack to defend your master, like the most wildest, Dobermans in this sense. And he starts backing away, and he moves towards the door, but he's like his arms are like not wanting to work from the piercing damage. He's got slick blood on his hand as he like starts to fidget a little bit with the doorknob, looking to try to call for help. Spencer, what do you want to do?
I'm like,
I should start using your actual proper names here. Fancy Jim, what do you want to do?
I'm like trying to gain my composure again. I'm like, y'all, did I overreact? I'm sorry. And I'm trying to find Elmsworth. I'm like, where is he?
He goes, I don't know. I haven't seen him.
Can I tell if he's under there? And try and
Uh,
find him out?
Yeah, give me a sense roll 2.
7.
7, yes. You absolutely like just you hear the muffled cries and you see like tentacles peeking out from Auntie just like a bit.
Can I try and help him out?
Yeah, I would say like you're without having to roll, you're easily able to come over and just kind of like flip Auntie, who kind of like almost cartwheels on her tentacles as she kind of rolls away. And finally, Elmsworth, you catch a breath after being smothered by Auntie.
I'm like, oh hey.
Yes, fine to do, isn't it? My goodness, the master is he all right?
I don't know. I don't know.
Good question.
Bobby is still a bit panicked, and his just kind of goes to default reaction and moves towards the closest piece of technology he sees, which is probably the pistol.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. You come up and like wrap your tentacle around the pistol, giving it a quick exam here. Let's go ahead and just give me another sense roll. This one we'll call 5.
3.
Okay, looking at it, like, I mean, you've kind of vaguely seen these things, but you wrap your hand, like, your tentacle around it, and it seems like, there's obviously, it's hard to tell if, like, there's 2 pieces that you could possibly hold by, and then there's, like, a little weird, like, kind of clicky thing, and bang! You fire off a stray shot into the room that just kind of whoosh, hits the wall. No damage, thankfully, but you do have a rough idea of how this thing now works.
Yeah, but I'm still a bit shell-shocked just sitting here.
Yes. Meanwhile, this man is trying to like work the doorknobs. You see Auntie Ethel is like cartwheeling around, ends up at this man's feet, and I'm gonna give her a quick hugging check. Ooh, she rolls a 7 + 2, 9. That's a critical success. As she cartwheels, she manages to wrap like probably like 5 of her tentacles around this dude's leg while still using the remaining 3 tentacles to pivot. Grabs it, swoops this guy's unsuspecting leg out from underneath him, and he hits the ground before like immediately darting up. And Auntie continues to cartwheel around the room, just like just kind of moving around. Brilliant.
You shouldn't have worried about Auntie. She's got this.
Brilliant. So this stranger that has come in and harmed your master is now on the ground, but he's quickly trying to pick himself up, but his arms still like refuse to like work to their full capacity here. We'll go back to Elmsworth.
Okay, I think while this is going on, Elmsworth is going to kind of clamber his way over to their master and just basically try and see if he's okay, if he's still alive, really.
You see, he like rears up. He's still holding, like there's still like red coming between his like fingers as he holds his gut. But he looks at all of you and he goes, "Be careful! No, you don't! You can't hurt!" And he like starts trying to fidget in his coat. You can see he's got another one of these strange weapons that he's trying to like get out of his jacket pocket here to help try to like defend you guys, even as you defend him. He's still conscious, but you can tell that he's not like. Whatever has pierced him has done its terrible damage, and he is very hurt. But brilliant. That's just a casual observation. If you want to try to do something else, I will allow you to in this moment.
Let's see. I think I'm gonna see he's struggling to get something, so I'm basically just going to try and support his hand with my tentacles.
Nice. Okay, as you try to help guide him, that we can call that manipulating objects, or we could call it suction if you're trying to like stick to it and like use that leverage.
Let's go manipulating objects. I've got slightly more skill than that.
All right, brilliant. Pretty easy as you help guide his hand. We'll call it a 4.
Okay, that is a 6.
Nice. You help like kind of guide his hand as he's like weak and like his hand is trembling, but you steady it. He comes in, pulls out this weapon, and begins like trying to aim it at the man as he's like on the ground, like level with him. He like picks his head up with strained effort and tries to aim, and first shot goes wide, boom, pierces the door, and his arm like flails up wildly from that. We'll move over to Bobby. What do you want to do in this moment, as you now have one of these weapons that you've seen do this damage?
He just tries to aim at the man, just at his chest, and tries to pull the trigger.
All right, we'll go for another manipulating objects. This one trying to control the gun with the your kind of like boneless tentacle arms, a little hard rigid. We're gonna go for 6 on that one.
I think Bobby really wants him dead because I got another 9.
Oh boy!
Oh!
Knowing how this thing works and having seen it in action thrice now, you level the gun, fire, the recoil like, wildly moves your tentacles back, but go ahead and tell me exactly what happens to this stranger.
He still underestimates the knockback, so he aims for the chest, but actually he gives him a headshot, killing him instantly.
The man falls limp. His arms that were struggling to help pick him up, he just like collapses onto the ground, and you see your master, the man, like drops his hand limply to the ground, and like lets his head lull back, at least compliant, or comforted in the relative safety that you guys are in. You're not in immediate danger now as you're in this room. There's still noise happening from outside this room, down in like the other rooms and halls of this. You can hear more of these bang, bang. You can hear people shouting and screaming. There's like lots of motion happening even out of sight. Like you can hear all this. Like the floor of the second story room practically rumbles with the amount of movement that's happening downstairs. But you all turn your attention to the man as he is like starting to slip in and out of consciousness at this point. What do we do now, guys? Like, you see the man picks his head up and he looks at all of you, and like even though his eyes like lull in his head, he goes, "My babies, you need to get to safety. You need to get out of here." And he like gestures towards like the back of the building. He goes, "The ocean lies right there. I know you've seen it. The ocean, you will be safe away from all of this evil that man creates."
I want to rub his face with a tentacle and be like, "Shh."
He goes, "Oh, fancy Jim, what would I do without you?"
Bobby's still just sitting there
Ellsworth
shocked.
wants to help.
Sorry. Yeah, Bobby's not doing anything. Just
I was
sitting
gonna
there
say-
shocked with the pistol.
Eyes like dinner plates.
Yeah. None of us are equipped to deal with this situation. I mean, Elmsworth wants to help his master, but all he really knows how to do to help is tidy. So he's just going to start sort of like straightening his tie, like kind of doing up his jacket and just kind of using his kelp tie to just kind of like what might wipe the blood off, and hopefully that somehow makes things better.
That's adorable.
Brilliant. Yes, you. Like you kind of like crawl on, like almost on top of him as you begin like straightening his tie, his clothes, and like the pressure at first, like you see the man like winces like but your weight on his stomach actually like kind of adds a little bit of compression, and you notice that it does help kind of staunch like the bleeding a little bit, and you see like Auntie Ethel like stops her cartwheeling and then like kind of makes her way over to you guys, and like rips up like the drapery off like one of the windows, and comes over and like slaps it down around your master here. It kind of like adds like a little extra compression to it. He goes, "Hey, you boys, you've never, I don't know, have you been out in the wild here? I mean, have you guys never seen like when an octopus has to like bite their own arms off to escape a trap? You need to apply pressure to the situation."
Yes, Auntie. Of course, yes. That's just what I was doing. Yes, okay, and yeah. Auntie's usually just going to start, more deliberately kind of putting pressure on the wound.
Nice. Push it down, like the man like lets out a groan, but it is helping stop the bleed, or at least staunch the bleeding a little bit here. And now so you guys have an option in front of you as you turn and you see like out the window like the roar of the ocean. Like you guys are on a beachfront property. Down on the outside in the back of this building is a long dock that leads out into the wide open ocean. Your master has told you that you need to be safe and you need to make it to the ocean. You have an option. Do you follow your master's orders and try to escape this place, or are you going to try to save your master? And as you see out in the as of like you start to like look out the window towards the ocean, you see at the end of the dock a speedboat.
I start to panic because I feel like there's guests in the house and we might be leaving, and I need to look my best, but I lost my hat. So I'm gonna look around for a new hat.
All right, brilliant. So prioritizing, you go ahead and give me a sense roll here. You know what? I'm gonna put this in stages. You can find like something with a 5, or you can find the thing with an 8.
7 minus 1, so 6.
6. All right, fair enough. So you do manage to find like a couple things. First of all, this stranger is like he is actually wearing like these like tiny little almost like Morpheus like spectacles here, which are very nice and very stylish. On his person, he has like a nice like kind of a long kind of like thin tie as well. But also looking around the room, there's a number of things that you've always kind of like had your eye on. There's like a super elaborate like small vase that has like like weeds and flowers, and you're like, who cares about that crap? The vase is so nice. It's got little like gold etched rim, with like splashes of color in that very kind of 80s Art Deco style. But as you look around this room, yeah, I mean, what catches your eye right off the bat?
I want to wrap the thin tie around my head like a bandana.
Nice. Right, a little anime, montage as like you spin around, like wrapping in there. Yes, fancy. So, does anyone else have anything in this moment as you consider your options moving towards the future?
Bobby
I think
is still...
Elmsworth is very scared.
No, you go first. You're the creator. I keep interrupting you.
That's all good. Elmsworth is very scared and kind of feels like, on an evolutionary level, the best thing to do is escape. But this place has been his life, his pride and joy. His master's hurt. The home is in tatters. He feels he needs to stay and just tidy everything up. He can't leave it in this state of disarray.
All right, brilliant. What were you going to say, Bobby?
Bobby looks at his master, looks outside, and you mentioned a speedboat there, right?
Yes, like if you like make your way to the window, first of all, like this window, very thick glass, not necessarily impenetrable, but as you look down, like you get a little bit of like the vertigo as you are on the second floor of this building here. But focusing your attention, looking out, you see like the vast ocean and a dock that leads out from the back of the house, extending like a good, like 30 feet into the water, and then there is at the end of that dock a speedboat.
He's still confused, like his master, freedom, speedboat, technology he could use for himself, study. And then he says like, maybe we should escape.
All right, brilliant. Auntie chimes in. He goes, well, we could try to carry him. We could try to, and she like gets and like picks up like one arm stretching over her head. Like, I think we might be able to and like starts like kind of trying to drag him. The man like lets out a groan. It's like he shifts, like being like moved like an inch across the carpet. But yeah, Auntie seems convinced that you guys might be able to save him by dragging him around, but that may not be the strictest possibility here.
I'll try and help her, but I want to put the Morpheus glasses on him so that he looks good too.
Nice. grabbing the Morpheus glasses off of the strange man and making her way, put it on as Tony's like fully lulls his head back and falls unconscious, now like weakened at Bernie's with glasses on, just kind of like as Auntie's like trying to drag him.
I'll tell you what, there is a mechanic for this. We could try a combined roll. All our tentacles together.
Ooh, Octoman.
Fancy
All
Jim
right.
puts his arm in. He says, "Yeah, let's do this."
All right, and I will throw in for Auntie.
Okay.
All right, this is going to be a very, very painstaking roll here, but let's see. With all four octopi running together at the same time here, and we're gonna look for what's gonna be a good one. We're gonna go for now. We're gonna see if we can get a combined 15.
50.
Tough, but it might be doable. Let's see.
Okay.
I will let you know what Auntie rolls first.
Which skill?
Auntie rolls. Sorry, this is. We're gonna go for hugging, right? Yes, hugging.
I was afraid it was going to be huggy.
As this is a strength-based action, as you try to pick, basically lift this man enough to be able to move him easily across the carpet. Auntie gets 1.
I've got 6.
That's a 4 from Elmsworth.
17. Boom. That is
yes.
enough. As like your combined tentacles lift him just inches off the ground, like arm, leg, and like you begin to. And you start moving, and it's actually like this is working. You're able to move with some form of ease, as like you could just have he's just kind of rolling along as you guys keep going. Now that you're certain that this is something you might be able to actually accomplish, you have a closed door in front of you. Beyond it, you don't know, except for the cacophony of noise. And if you want to try to carry the man down, you have to find your way out of this room first. So, who wants to try to take charge as we try to get this door open?
Okay. It kind of looks like best roll to Auntie. She's not really doing much at the moment in terms of lifting. So maybe
Yes.
I'll kind of see that and say, Auntie, we've got it. Can you see if you can look through the door, see what's on the other side? Open it if you can.
Oh yeah. And she like immediately like drops like the arm she was barely holding above the ground and like makes her way over. You have lucked into her actual best stat, suction, as she makes her way. And I'm just gonna give a quick. Oh boy, that's a 10. She has +2 in suction, and she rolled an 8. So Auntie makes her way over to the door in the wall, like right next to the door, and immediately just like she like is almost like rolling across the floor and hits the wall and just metroids up the wall. Slaps her arm around the doorknob, whips it open. The door cracks open, and she like looks out at. She's like, well, the stairs. And there's some man standing at the top of the stairs.
Maybe. But he has an idea. We could take the door, find something like round, use it like turning, strength like wheels, and we put him on the door, and we can maneuver him better like that.
Very nice. All right. If you want to go for that, Bobby, give me a quick sense roll as you like look around the room trying to MacGyver this the best you can.
2, natural 1.
Ooh, bummer. There's like some small things you're not quite sure. Looking around, if anybody, you know what, I will allow, as Bobby kind of mentions this up. If both of you want to also roll your own independent sense rolls, we can possibly try to find something else to help Bobby out with this.
All right. Okay, that is 7.
All right, nice. So looking around, like. Fancy Jim, you did notice that there was that vase. You know, the vase is round, but you're not sure exactly how much weight it would be able to produce here. But it is Elmsworth, as you like kind of like spy around the room. Like, you start kind of thinking out loud to yourself, like, all right, Vase. There's a statue that is like largely kind of like cylindrical, like in its shape. It's kind of like one of those, modern art pieces that is kind of just more of like a shape than anything else. Sitting there, you might, and you start thinking, I'm like, okay, so we have long drapes that we could possibly like use to like, tie this around. We have certain, like round objects. You're not quite sure how you might be able to like fix them. It might kind of be like a one-off kind of thing, but Bobby, as Elmsworth and Fancy Jim point these out to you, I'm trying to think what would be best as far as like a general like intellect check. Suppose we can go for manipulating objects. Sense, you think? Yeah, mental check. All right. These point this out. Go ahead. Now give me that sense roll again. Here.
7.
This time it'll be lower. 7. 7 is great. So yeah, you see, like, you might be able to use both of these. Like, if you like were able to put the like this little cylindrical statue type thing, like get it like underneath his back, and then possibly tie that kind of like to him in a way, while using the vase as like kind of like a backup, so you have like the fragile one that's kind of just supporting the bigger one. You think you might be able to use that to kind of like, if you were to grab his legs, this might be able to kind of help reduce the friction on the carpet to kind of like drag him along. So it would basically have what you would need to be able to complete this.
Should I make a manipulate object roll?
Please, as you try to quickly, like, you're A-teaming now. You're in the barn. You have like 30 minutes before the bad guys show up. Like, let's see if you can make a tank.
Come on. 8. Natural 6.
Ooh. Nice. You take like 2 minutes as like Auntie keeps an eye on this guy. He's like, he's just standing there. Because I don't like him. And but you see everyone watches it. Bobby all of a sudden starts beautiful minding, and then all of a sudden he springs into action. He grabs like the statue that Elmsworth mentioned. He grabs the vase that Fancy Jim mentioned. He tears some drapes off, uses it to rip it apart, and begins affixing this thing. And by the end of it, you have almost a wheelbarrow situation where all you need to do is lift this guy's legs, and you'll be able to kind of roll him in that fashion. Brilliant. Having what you would need.
Oh goodness, it's making such a mess.
Yeah, the room is in disarray at this point. I think while he takes like 2 or 3 minutes, while Bobby takes 2 or 3 minutes applying this, Elmsworth, you're just going like shadowing him. Like,
careful.
Right. Brilliant. During all this, Fancy Jim, do you have anything that you were looking to do as Auntie keeps lookout and Elmsworth kind of follows around Bobby as Bobby begins to build?
I'm worried about the man at the top of the stairs. I'm wondering if I could try and push him down the stairs.
Ooh, that is entirely possible. If you would like to make, let's see, if you want to, so walking up to, like, Auntie's still like stuck to the wall as she's like looking at this thing, looking at this guy through. You kind of make your way over to the bottom and peek your head out. You see there is indeed a man standing there with his back to the door as he's kind of just like looking down, and with the door cracked open, the noise is even more horrible now. People are just like, go, what are you doing? We gotta get out. Like there is a war happening downstairs, but this man calmly views the massacre happening around him with like a cold like disassociation. But no, he is unaware that anything has really taken place in the room. Doesn't appear to notice you, so you certainly can. You can either just make a quick movement check to see how quickly you can dash out the door to get to him, or if you want to try to activate some camouflage to kind of sneak your way to get close to him. It's your call if you want to do this quiet or quick.
I'll try and camouflage it and be sneaky.
Nice. Go ahead and give me the camo roll.
5
we'll call
plus
this
1 is 6.
All right, I was going to say we'll call this a 5, and you rolled a 6. Brilliant. As you make your way to the door, and your skin changes to like this kind of color of like the carpet, and then you like flatten yourself down and kind of just begin to crawl your way towards this guy. This doesn't see you at all, and finally you make your way to the back of him. He's standing right at the lip of the stairs. Go ahead and let's see if this probably would be best suited to, I suppose, a hugging check, as this is going to be a strength-based push, but also manipulating objects might. I don't know, Nick. What do you think, being the designer of this?
Yeah, I'd say I'd call it a hug because yeah, you're right. It is strength based. Manipulating objects is meant to be more kind of dexterous and kind of MacGyvering things.
Gotcha. All right, so we'll call this a hug. You're trying to push a man. He's on the lip of the stairs. We'll say you could probably aim for the back of the knee. Would be your best bet. We'll call it a 6 to topple this man.
Well, I have a 1 in hugging, and I rolled an 8. So
Oh, critical success!
Yes.
Brilliant. Yeah, you stealth make your way up, completely camouflaged, just like a little blur on the carpet that moves his way, and all of a sudden, out of like this like little like spot of the carpet that moves along, a tentacle emerges. The camouflage drifts away from your tentacle, and you boom right in the back of the knee. Tell me what happens to this guy as you strike him.
I just quickly bash the back of his knees, and then stand up on both my hind legs, as coconut octopus are likely to do, mostly in the water, but I'm being performative. And I just give him another slap on the butt. Push him down.
Nice. He begins to fall back. You push him from the butt, catapults him down. He almost does a dive down the stairs at that point. As he whoop, and down he goes. Brah, 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 hits the ground. Not moving, unconscious at the bottom of the stairs. And I'll say, with that critical success, you also happen, as you slam his butt, out comes what is it's hard to it's circular. It's a pocket watch.
I tie it to my tie.
Nice.
Nice.
It is. Yeah, it's got a little motif of a ship. It's very nautical sense, and when you you click the button, it opens up, and there's a lovely little bejeweled clock in there. It's all silver. It's on a nice chain. You adorn yourself with it, and then kind of back your way up towards the room. Maybe not necessarily going in the room, but you're trying to back away a little bit as the hunting cheers you on from the door. Just you guys, he did not he found it all the way down like that. She is loving it. Brilliant. In the room, Bobby, you have built your contraption. This man is movable. Elmsworth, you've gone behind and you've tidied up all the little scraps of fabric and the dust and cleaning up. But the man is ready to go. Your path to the stairs unmarred as Auntie swings the door open. Oh, excuse me. Further, soda. Moving your way, you guys kind of roll this. You roll the man out to the top so you can get a view. Now you are on the second floor balcony. There is stairs on your left and your right that kind of wrap down around into a central, almost like a lobby area. In case you haven't noticed, I based a lot of this on Scarface. So, there's a little pool at the bottom, with the statue and that kind of gleaming. There's tile floors, and the walls are large and columns and beautiful paintings and scenery around you. Fake palm trees, the whole works. Yes. You know, based on the proximity of the window, which way the window faces, that you are now facing the front of the house, which is away from the ocean. So you have to make your way down the stairs and then somehow try to double back and find your way out the back side of this building. So as you make your way, you are now all on the top landing of the second floor, stairs to your left and your right. What's your plan? What do you guys want to do? I'll give you a few moments here to kind of strategize a little bit.
I wrap my arms around my friends and just say, I'm spent, guys. I think we should stay here.
A few moments ago, I would agree with you, Fancy Jim, but I don't think this is our home anymore. There's a lot of nasty things going on. I don't think any of us can stay here.
Maybe.
I think
Again,
we have to find...
I will remind you of the cacophonous noise that happens around the shouting, the gunfire, the screaming, people diving behind counters and dodging over, bullets and just emptying clips into walls. true action hero moment style. This cacophonous noise that surrounds you at all times. All right, sorry, go.
Maybe, like these humans have like a lot of incredible technology. Maybe we can get him to the boat, and maybe there is some sort of facility from the humans where they can heal him. So let's get him to the boat.
Yes, very
like
good.
it, Bobby.
All right, Bobby giving us a motivational speech as you guys steel your resolve. You make your way to the edge of the stairs where you're going to try to bring this man gently down the stairs. Let's go ahead and have a group roll as we will... oh, you know what? Since there is extra movement right now, so we're going to call this a group movement roll, and we want to all hit a 12.
Okay.
Since it's
So
on
with
land.
movement, when we're doing, yeah, if we're on land, we roll at disadvantage.
Yes. So
Okay.
you guys are... All right, so you're going to roll 2d8s and take the lower of the two.
That's why I had to prepare it. Come on.
And Auntie's gonna do the same as she sucks down off the wall, comes to you. Ooh, she actually
Okay.
rolls well.
Natural 2 and natural 1.
3,
That's
6,
not looking
7.
good. So for a total of 1.
Ooh. 1. All right, Auntie gets a 4. That brings us to 11. Not quite enough as like you begin to make your way towards the stairs and like you begin teetering. It's two of you holding on to like each leg, two of you trying to brace the back. When all of a sudden this invention of Bobby's that helps you move, roll this man with a lot more ease suddenly begins to roll too much, too fast as it down the stairs. It rolls right over Bobby and Fancy Jim as you guys are in the front. Rolls right over you. You begin to topple. Elmsworth and Auntie are dragged down for the ride. Boom! You guys hit the bottom of the stairs. Panting, the man like cries out as he like regains consciousness just long enough to like feel the pain and pass back out. Yeah, blood opens back up and begins kind of seeping through the shirt a little bit. The rest of you guys are dazed as like some of you have just been like, you know, sushi rolled here. Others have just been kind of dragged bumping down the stairs, but you guys are at the bottom of the stairs. Maybe a little worse for wear, but you are at the bottom of the stairs. Yeah, Auntie immediately jumps on top of the man and begins like applying pressure again, get to the wound. What's everyone else going to try to do at this moment?
I'm gonna help Auntie now. I know that's how you save people. I'm gonna do my best to save my master.
Brilliant. With that failure as well, Bobby, your mechanism still works, but it is like the base part of it that was kind of stabilizing the more central statue has shattered. So it will make things a little more difficult dragging this guy unless you can quickly look around the room and try to figure
Yeah, that was my
out.
plan. Look around, see if I can find something to replace it, and replace it as quickly as possible. So I presume a sense
Brilliant.
roll.
Please.
Come on, give me something. 5.
5. Nice. Yeah. You find actually that there are so there's like these fake palm trees. All right. They're perfectly circular, like kind of plastic stalks of these things. You immediately run over and like kind of just rip some out of like, because you know they're not in dirt, they're fake. So it's just kind of in this planter thing. You tear some out quickly, like make your way over. And go ahead and give me a manipulation check as you try to fashion these to replace your broken element.
Come on. Natural 8, 10. Woo!
Boom! Brilliant. You lash up these two like palm trees to the back, stabilizing your main structural figure. What else do you think might improve this thing? How do you think you might be able to make this better?
Maybe I can use the vases as building some sort of protection around the guy so that he doesn't get attacked, and also turning it a bit into a pseudo ramming device, so in emergency case we can just ram through maybe people or a barricade to get him through without him getting too injured.
Hell yeah! You make you quickly go around, like you like dash around the room. It's almost a little startling how quickly Bobby moves once he gets an idea in his head. And you're grabbing up supplies. Elmsworth, I think you're freaking out a little bit, but there's a lot going on, so I don't know how much you're trying to do in this moment. But Bobby keeps tearing apart this room like a whirlwind of tentacles, and it comes away, and you see almost like one of those like downhill racer carts. Bobby is constructed in like 2 minutes flat. He makes it's like cushions from furniture, and it's got like some of these like big heavy vases on the front, and the backs are like almost like axles made out of these like kind of pipes, not pipes I should say, but like fake palm trees. Brilliant. Bobby, you'd spend a couple minutes quickly throwing that back together. What is everyone else doing? Elmsworth, you are helping staunch the bleeding. It is slowing down. It is getting better. Is there anything else you guys want to do in this moment?
I want to try and suction and help hold this contraption together.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Fantastic. You like kind of like as Bobby is like throwing it together, you jump on the back. Go ahead and give me a suction roll as like you help kind of like hold this together as Bobby puts like the finishing touches on it.
3.
3. Still, you like keep it together, Bobby, and it definitely aids you a little bit in like kind of compiling, putting this thing together. But with that, you will have to like help hold the back section of this together. Like Fancy Jim, that's kind of your role at the moment right now is holding this thing together. At this point, like a man all of a sudden like darts into the room, like blah blah blah, firing wildly, and he looks down and he goes, "The boss!" And Auntie goes, "Ah!" It leaps and right onto this guy's face as he like, "Ah!" and like falls into the back room. Out of it, Auntie's gone with this man as they have left. But you guys have, Auntie's a wild card, but you guys have your master. You've made this cart. You know the direction to get outside to the dock out back. You begin rolling. You're moving down. You go like around the stairs through, with your brilliant cart, bust through the door, begin rolling down like this long corridor. You come out to a pool area. You have to like stop the cart as like you approach. There is like a huge in-ground indoor pool that kind of like obstructs your path a little bit. You have to slow down and begin maneuvering around. There are people. The pool water red as bodies float through, and again there's bang 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 bang. You see there's like two different factions of people in this area that are kind of like firing at each other. Like one is behind this little cabana bar hut, the other are around like the edges of like the little what are they called, ornamental shrubbery and stuff, like one of those like cement slabs that has like little tree or bushes and crap, as like they're this is a Mexican standoff, and you guys like stop right in front of the pool. You have to try to get across. What are you gonna do? There's a pool in front of you. There's gunfire from the sides of you. How do you get out of this room?
Do we see which side is boss's minions and which side is attacker?
Ooh, brilliant. Yes. Let's go ahead. Let's do a group sense check here. This one we'll call, since you guys are familiar with the area, we'll call this one a 10. 5.
9.
Woo!
Okay, that is 6.
All right, that is blowing that out of the water. Yes. You immediately see, as you guys like come out in this cart, like one guy from the right side near like this ornamental shrubbery that is firing at the cabana, stops and goes, "It's the boss!" And you immediately turn and you see a man come rushing up to you, a familiar man, one that you've seen like kicking around the house from time to time. This is like one of the lieutenants of like the underboss, like one of the damn, my mom would be so upset with me that I couldn't remember. Like, I've seen Godfather. Come on, what's the name? Underbosses. But anyway, yes, a man comes running up to you and looks at you guys, and he like, "Elmsworth, what is happening here?" As you like stare up at this man.
Okay, so
All right, so we know he's a good guy. Then we know he's.
You have seen this man, and he is definitely with your master.
Yeah. I just basically so point at the wound and just kind of go.
Oh my God, the boss! Yes. He like immediately like picks up the slack for you guys and begins to like use this cart, which he's just can't even wrap his head around this, how this cart is here, but he's just gonna go with it. And he's just gonna help you like drag it over around the corner here. As you round this corner, you see there are like 4 other members of like your boss's like crime family here, and they're all just blah 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 blah, blah firing wildly. Like there's bullets piercing and hitting tile and floor. Go ahead.
What I want to do now is, now that the cart is empty, take it, go to the other side of the pool, and just domino-wise just drive through the attackers, trying to knock them off their feet.
Brilliant. Sorry,
Damn,
I saw
Bobby.
where you're going for that right as I was taking a drink. No,
Sorry.
I'm joking.
Please don't die.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Elmsworth. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just saying, I'm just loving that. Just yeah,
Brilliant.
just carry on.
Yeah, so the man is like hefted out of the cart as like Bobby, all of a sudden you tear away. Because of that roll, Fancy Jim, you're along for the ride. As you like have the back of this, and you're just like holding on for like dear life, keeping like this back of this cart together. Elmsworth, do you stay with your master, or are you going with this crazed, this like ramming plan?
The conflict. No, I don't think Elmsworth is the ramming type. He's gonna stay with his master.
All right, you stay like still applying pressure to the master's chest, at least feeling some comfort in the fact that you're helping the master. As these guys like kind of like carry him off. Bobby and Fancy Jim, you tear around the other side of the pool. Let's go ahead and you know what? I'm gonna say, Bobby, you make a manipulation check, but I'm gonna loosely call this a group check, as I'm gonna allow Fancy Jim to kind of aid and assist in adding this together here. So we're gonna look for an 8 between the two.
For which?
For manipulating
Can I
objects.
buddy? Come on.
As you keep control of this cart as it
7.
moves. 5, 7, boom! All right, blows the 8 out of the water as you round the corner. Easily like kind of like maneuvering, and boom, the first person like you immediately just like ram into, and like it knocks him over, and he into the pool. Splash begins flailing around, but you quickly peel through. There's 2 other people here. This next one here, you know what, since we are in, you've manipulated it, you've run around, we're going to use this as movement, as like you like kind of like slap the ground to kind of keep the momentum going here. Let's make a movement check with both of you 2 rolling again, please.
Disadvantage, I presume?
Yeah.
Yes. Although, I mean, technically you could argue that you are rolling, so, but it's
2
all right.
7s.
We'll call it. Woo!
Nice.
All right, still, a cumulative 9 is very good. You ram into the second person, and again send him flying off into the pool. One more person here, and you know what? Just for the fun of it, let's go ahead and we'll make this a flat strength check. Give me a hug.
Oh boy, that's my weakest. And a natural 1. I think that's minus. Just 0. I got 0.
A 0. Goose egg. All right. What'd you get? Elmsworth, give me a hug as well. Or not Elmsworth. Sorry. Fancy Jim, give me a hug roll. Sorry.
7.
Woo! All right. So with a 0 to 7, still averages out to be very good. You slam into this last guy and like send him like flying back. There's a glass window behind him that he like smashes through it. Lands on the ground outside. You smell fresh sea air as that window breaks. You are so close, but the cart has suffered severe damage. And Fancy Jim, give me a suction check as you try to hold this thing together as it's rammed into 3 people now.
Ooh, my strongest skill, and I rolled a 7, so a 9.
Oh boy, you feel the cart wants to give way, and like using you have 2 tentacles holding out the sides, and as you feel the cart like suffering damage, 2 more tentacles, boom, boom, 2 more tentacles, boom, boom, all of your tentacles engaged as you you're in the center of this thing now. You are literally holding this whole thing together. Like the sunlight gleams off your new pocket watch. Like you could see like the headband like glimmer and like catching the black, catching the light off the sun. And you tear around the corner, moving back. 2 people splashing in the pool, the other through the window. You don't know, he, for all intents and purposes, out of the fight. The people on your side help grab up the boss as Elmsworth. you kind of like gesture towards the dock, I imagine, or trying to like figure out where we're going. Yes. These guys quickly, get the idea. Like, we're in the back of the house. We're pretty much at the dock. Like, the boss is hurt. They heft this guy up. Elmsworth, you're riding on your master's chest as Bobby and Fancy Jim begin to like move the cart, and you both make your way out onto the back here. This is a large deck type, there's like one that has like a built-in fire pit, and there's like a cabana bar, a lovely thing, and it like gradual ramp that makes its way down the ocean. As soon as you guys step outside, the salt and the sweet ocean air hits you, the breeze comes across. It's a beautiful Miami day. It's like 85 degrees and perfectly sunny with like a nice breeze coming in off the shore. You can like, the smell of freedom lies at your feet. And there, at the end of the dock, the speedboat. Bobby, your eyes become like saucers as you stare at this marvelous innovation. 2,000 years of human ingenuity combined in, whirling propellers, electric engines, like the fiberglass hull designed to shred through the wave. Like, this is the pinnacle of human technology as far as you're considered in this thing, something that has mastered the ocean. And you guys begin to make your way down towards the dock, and as soon as you hit the dock, you see coming from behind you two large men. These are like bruisers, like human V's. As they come, one knocks one of the people holding your boss completely just right in the jaw. Like, this dude ragdolls down to the ground. Your boss and Elmsworth hit the dock with order. This other man begins tussling with one of your boss's servants here. You now have an active fight, two large men after your three underbosses. Your master lies bloodied once again on the bottom of the dock. Elmsworth, you are the closest, but your cart comes tearing up just behind them as well. What do we guys do? You're so close to the speedboat. Only two more obstacles lie in front of you. These two walls, pillars of men, are standing in your way.
Everyone,
Right.
ink.
Yes.
Ink, yes. Of course, how could I have forgotten?
Brilliant.
Elmsworth's really got to sort of psych himself up for this. It's like, oh, it's gonna make such a mess.
All right.
Brothers in
brilliant.
arms. Get ready.
All right, you're locked and loaded. Everyone, give me an ink roll.
Come on. 7.
Oh,
7 as well.
7 plus 2 is 9.
God, the ultimate group critical success. All right. I'm gonna go around and let each person take a part in this. So you have two mountains of men. They're tussling with two of your master's underbosses. The third underboss is knocked out on the ground. They're just trying to fight and punch left and right. We'll start with Bobby. As the cart rounds around the corner, what do you do to ink these guys? Are you aiming for blinding them? Are you aiming for the ground to trip them up?
Who did you ask?
Bobby. Sorry.
Sorry, I thought you did ask somebody else. Okay, so
It's okay.
let's say that I kept one bullet from the pistol back then. I put it into my ink organ as a sort of a fork, and use the pressure of the ink to fire it out to hit one of the guys in the shoulder.
In almost like a Frank Miller comic book, the ink splatters, making the effect all the more crazy and cinematic as the bullet rips into the meat of this dude's shoulder. All right, Elmsworth, you're on your master as he hits the ground. What do you do to ink these guys?
Okay, I'm imagining kind of sort of feigning oh no, please don't hurt me, I'm just a small helpless octopus. And then sort of at the last moment, just all the tentacles go back and just full power, just straight at their faces.
All right.
Octopus ink is really viscous, so it's just gonna stick to them and basically shut their eyelids. That's what the intent is. Yeah.
like the scene out of Jurassic Park, as you just like rear up and unleash this like right in his eye as he like pulls his
Yeah.
hand off and it's like sticking
Yeah.
with it. Your underboss like punches it, now that this dude can't see, punches him, tackles him, they go flying off the dock into the ocean. There's one more of these human V's that are kind of like these enemies. Fancy Jim, what do you do?
I'm like, and first I just draw a mustache across him with my ink and laugh to myself. And then I splatter him in the face and blind him too.
Nice. Leaping like off the cart as like you kind of release the cart, like collapses as soon as you release, but you get right up like on this dude's shoulder and like the guy like freezes for a second as like an alien type tentacle kind of wraps around his face. He like lets out a scream and right in his mouth. He like leans over and like topples off, like dragging the your underboss with him as well. You guys are now alone on the dock. The boat is 30 feet in front of you. You begin moving. All right, let's get one more group movement as we now move the man.
What? At disadvantage, remember?
With disadvantage, yes, please.
I've got 4.
2.
Alright.
1
Alright.
plus 1.
So that's at 11. So you guys like struggle a little bit. There's been a lot of activity. You guys are very worn out from all of this, like movement, and you're attacking and you're inking. Like you are spent, the equivalent of drenched in sweat for an octopus. I don't know what that looks like, but you guys are like having a hard time, and like you begin like dragging slowly but surely, and all of a sudden you see the man that you pushed down the stairs. He like comes out, like he's holding his arm. He's like he looks like right at you, Fancy Jim, and he like pulls out a gun as he like points it at you. You like freeze in the moment, and you hear a noise it sounds like it's off in the distance. It's like, but it's getting closer. And you see, swinging off of a rope attached to like the second floor balcony, letting go and splaying out her tentacles, Auntie flies through the air, starts onto this dude's face, sending him flying into the ocean. Splash! And you guys make your way towards the boat. Give me one more group movement check with disadvantage.
Oh, that's
Great.
not good.
That is. I got a 7 and an 8, so that is 8 with my +1.
All right, nice. So 8 plus 3 plus 2. Sorry, 13 beats the 12 threshold I had set, and you drag him. You finally get him into the boat, and you see a tentacle wrap around the corner of the boat. And Auntie comes up and goes, "I'm glad to see you guys fun as I am." But Bobby, you immediately make your way to like the front seat. You see, there's like a wheel in front of you, and looking around, give me a sense check.
That's a 6.
You're feeling around with your tentacles, and there's you can. It's almost like a little mechanism. You can turn. It's a key. You turn it. The ignition like fires up. You just need to figure out how to like what puts this in motion. On a 6, you can't quite figure it out. Elmsworth, Fancy Jim, what do you want to try to do to help Bobby figure this out?
Okay. I think Elmsworth is very much in panic mode. So rather than sense, it's just going to try just anything. So I'm picturing this manipulating objects, but just getting lucky at finding the right thing.
Awesome. Getting lucky and finding the right thing. We're gonna aim for a 7.
Yeah. Okay. Got +2 in it, so let's see. That's a 7.
Oh, boom! All right. So like you like Bob, you look back, you're like, how do we make it go? And like Elmsworth, you're like, no, we can't stay here. We have to. And, like you begin like making your way, and as you like crawl over the central console, you find like the little like lever that like makes this thing, and as you just kind of roll across it, the boat lurches into life, and you begin driving. You are now sailing down the coastline as like the sounds of rocket gunfire in the distance fade away as like you put like miles in between you as you begin. Bobby, are you trying to keep close to the coastline so that you can try to find some human thing, or are you going into the ocean?
I'm trying to find some human thing that can save the master.
Fantastic. You fly down the coastline, spending, a good half hour to an hour driving down the coastline until finally, like, you come up to like a more highly populated area, beaching yourself, if you will, on this. You're not quite sure exactly where you are. Like, you've been like you've been sailing for quite a while now, but finally you come up to find people as like the boat like onto like the sandy beach, like just kind of like you're holding on to the wheel with like all 8 of your tentacles at this point, just kind of like around. People rush over and like, oh my god, this guy's hurt, oh my god, and they begin lifting him up. Your boss is brought to the best medical intention that there is. All right, now we're going to cut into the future a little bit here. You guys, there's still sandy beaches all around you. Your house is much smaller now. It's a hut. It's on a beach. It's like a lovely beach cabana. And you see, stepping out of the front door is the man, your master, your beloved friend that you have saved. He breathes a sigh as it has been months now. He like kind of feels his stomach a little bit where like the scar still remains, but he looks out over the sandy beaches as out of the ocean you guys emerge. Auntie, Fancy, Bobby, Elmsworth, like going around picking up shells on the beach and making sure, you almost kind of make like a Zen garden of the beach as you kind of sweep back and forth. Like, and as you guys make your way over, you see, Bobby, you have a workbench outside where you're able to build all kinds of contraptions. As we move into this hut, Fancy Jim, like you have your own little closet now, and as you look into it, you see there's the best coconuts you've ever found. There's your pocket watch, your tie. You have monocles. You have like tentacle gloves. Like you have everything your heart wishes that you could have. Bobby, you have all of your building tools at your disposal, and Elmsworth, you have a house that you take care of and a master that you know loves you and that you love. And as the sun sets on this beach day, we will call an end to this session of Rogue Octopus Escapes. That's great.
Yeah.
Great, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was so much fun.
That was so, yes, thank you. All right, before we sign off, once again, I'm your benevolent GM, Cross. But before we get into that, let's start. The creator of this fabulous game, Nick. That's amazing. Tell us everything. Tell where we can find you, where we can play this game. Like, please.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thanks for playing the game so well. That's exactly what I've been kind of hoping for. Just someone to take it, just have loads of fun with it, get some wacky ideas, and just have a really good adventure. So Rogue Octopus Escapes isn't out publicly yet. I'm hoping to have it out later this year. So if you want to keep up with it, then you can follow me on Twitter. That is at Nick Monroe Turner. And yeah, you can also just Google Rogue Octopus, and that way you can find me on YouTube and Twitch as well. And yeah, if you're really interested in sort of taking part in playtests, helping make this game as good as it can be before it comes out, then I've also got a Discord. If you follow me on any of the previous channels, just ask me about that and we'll get you sorted.
Oh, brilliant. This was I'm sweating. Like I was having that was so good. All right, Spencer, please tell us what you're up to and where we can find it.
First off, again, that was so good. You're amazing.
Thank you.
I am designing a game called Bug and Claw, so you can check that out at bugandclaw.com, and you can find all my other games at monkeyslunch.com. And I'm also making the odd tool and like system reference document and things like that to help other folks out. So, and I'll try and be more active in communities like this now that I'm less busy at work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all have our, it's always hard balancing life and joy. So you know what I mean? But fantastic. The man that's got us all here together tonight. Blaze, please tell us everything,
Oh.
that where we can find it, how we can play it.
So yeah, I am the creator of Ishanek on World Shapers. That's like my baby. Been working on it 4 years. It's a free tabletop RPG for any setting with a focus on character choice. It's probably the biggest free tabletop RPG out there. I'm not sure because I don't know every tabletop RPG, but we've got 112 sub archetypes. We've got 800 abilities, 500 talents. It's insanely customizable. You can basically play anything. I rarely encounter anything you cannot build with my system, and if I find something, I just update it. It's all free on my website, Ishanek with World Shapers. You'll find the link in my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is linked in the description if you want to try it out. Everything is free. The website doesn't even have cookies. Like, I'm so determined for everything to be free. Zero strings attached.
The website's extremely comprehensive. I love
Yeah.
it. Like, it's great. It's got all these filters. You can search very specific. It's great.
Yeah, because that's the main problem with that many choices, right? But yeah, next time in 2 months we'll be playing Ishanek on World Shapers, so I'm really hyped for that one.
Brilliant. Once again, I've been your benevolent GM, Cross. You can find me. I'm Cara Sinclair on Twitter. I'm the Vault Master for our 5e Borderlands game that we play over at Fluster Cluck Gaming right here on YouTube. We upload, a little sporadically at this point, but we're zoning in on a good release schedule. Session 5, Chapter 5 is going to be coming out later this week. So you can find us over there. But for now, guys, that was so much fun. You guys are so talented. This game rules. I absolutely love it. Like I play a lot of kind of 5e and stuff. And some more intensive kind of games. It's so great to have a fun game that is just, it's easy to pick up, it's easy to play, and you can just have a blast. And for these kind of adventures, it's brilliant. I love it. But for now, guys, this has been Forever GM Stay Off. We will be with you again soon. So keep an eye out on Tabletop Technicians Network. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for playing. This has been absolutely amazing. And I've had such a good time with this. Thank you guys again. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.